Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another tier list video where today we rank NFL team seasons here in the 2022-23 campaign. Really looking forward to this video with the Super Bowl right around the corner. We already know who kind of the top two teams are going to be. A few other ones might join them up there as well. So let's get right into this one. Before we get started, I'd like to say I'm trying not to be biased. Let's just see where we go with this one. Tennessee Titans. Every year the expectations kind of go up and down. We saw them make a nice run in the playoffs 2 or 3 years ago. But this year, in the last few years, they just haven't been able quite to get where everybody wants them to. But still, they were playing in that game for a chance to win the AFC South, get to the playoffs. One game below 500, right at 500 or so this season. It's going to be right between B, but I think B or C. I think because it's tough, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm that kind of person. I'll put them at B. The Miami Dolphins, very disappointing season after a great start. They had a lot of injuries, and I think that they are trending in the right direction in Miami. So I'll put them at a B. The Jets started hot, but then just dove downhill, going below 500. The offense couldn't get going with Zach Wilson, and a lot of questions surrounding that Jets program right now, so I see them down at C. Bengals, it's a super season because I think that late in the year, they were the best team in the NFL. I think this because they had to play a very tough Chiefs team in the AFC Championship on the road, lost to them on a game-winning field goal from just a little mental mistake, getting that late penalty. There were a lot of questionable calls in that game, questionable no calls. But I think the Bengals were one of the, if not the best team, they were definitely They were definitely top category quality here. The Browns, Deshaun Watson came back for part of the season, but otherwise, another team with some struggling offenses, and then it's just a disappointing year, and that's what you get out of Cleveland Browns this year. I am going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars at an A because they were pretty darn above expectations. A lot of people thought that Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence were starting to trend in the right direction. The program or the organization started to trend in the right direction. But I think this year, making it to the second round, the divisional round of the playoffs, losing to the 1 seed in a pretty competitive game, that's a big achievement from a team that only had one win or whatever it was 2 seasons ago. So I think it's a very good season for the Jaguars, and I think it's a very good season for the Lions as well. They were able to finally put some of these high draft picks and the pieces that they acquired together. Jared Goff with a pretty good season, and I think that the Lions are also a team that's going up in the right direction. The Vikings, the record makes me put them in A. I never thought the record displayed how good they were. I did not think they were that good. And then obviously the first round playoff exit. So it's a bit of a disappointment. I wish there was one in between A and B. But it's a good regular season record. They were able to pull out those close games, and they had some memorable moments with the comeback and everything. Buccaneers, it's a B. They won their division, which is a good accomplishment. But with a 500 plus with a losing record to win your division, so just a B. 49ers made it to the championship game where they were on their 5th string quarterback. They were on their 3rd string quarterback most of the season. Then obviously in the championship game, they had to go to the 4th seed, and then ultimately the 5th seed, Christian McCaffrey. But still, a very good season for the 49ers. After a little dip in the road there, after their trip to the Super Bowl in 2019, they're finally able to pick it up a bit. That's good to see. Atlanta, they were fighting for the division late in the season, but could not get the key wins. And I really want the Falcons to succeed because we haven't seen it really since the Super Bowl in whatever year that was. But they just aren't there yet. Ravens, every year this team, from where I live, I can never watch Ravens games for some reason. So I'm not heavily focused on them. I always forget about them as a team. But I think that if you can be a playoff team, but live below expectations. Below expectations, I'm looking at a lot in this video, and I want to put them at B. Easy D there. I'm going to slide the Texans up to D while we're at it. Obviously, the two worst teams in the league. Look at that pretty little triangle, or whatever you call that there. All right, now to my Cowboys. Is this biased putting them in A, or is it good putting them at B? I'm going to say A. I'm going to be able to back up my answer here to show that it's not biased. Yes, Dak Prescott had the most interceptions in the league. Yes, we had higher expectations. But here's another thing. We made it to the divisional round. We played 6 games with a backup quarterback. And we also beat the Eagles, who were going to the Super Bowl. So I think, and a lot of other good wins in there as well. Have they been able to piece together all their pieces? Not since the 80s, no, or 90s, whatever it was. No. But I think it's quality A because of what they were able to accomplish with the tools that they had, and make improvements, small steps at a time. Indianapolis Colts, it'll be a D. It's what they get the 3rd draft pick, 3rd worst in the team, or worst in the league. And here's another D because the LA Rams just won the Super Bowl. They come in with McVay, they come in with Stafford again, Cooper Kupp. They can't do anything. What? They were 4-13? I mean, come on now. You're the defending Super Bowl champs. The Rams have really got to figure something out. Chargers, they are going in the right direction as well, but they were not able to piece it together in the playoffs when it mattered the most. So I think it's still an underwhelming season, but I hope the Chargers can get up to where we expected them to be. But they're going to stay at B right now. The Raiders, awful start. They were able to get a few wins towards the end of the season. And a few memorable ones in there as well, so I put them at C. The Washington Commanders are going to be a C as well. At the beginning of the season, they started hot, slowed down at the end of the season, but obviously they beat the Cowboys nicely, and they had a few nice games in there, so C for me. Here's your Super Bowl teams. The Chiefs and the Eagles, they're going to slide to S, no explanation needed. The Saints, another disappointing season. They're going to be at D, one of the bottom teams in the league. Here's an A team. If you really want to, you could put them up in S if you're basing off expectations. But here's why they're going A. Expectations were low as usual. They blow through those. Playoff upset. Get to the divisional round. Unfortunately, they couldn't go any farther. But then you run into the 1 seed. It's a tough task. But still, season to remember for the Giants as they are going in the right direction as well. Steelers. They were fighting for a playoff spot there out of nowhere at the end. I think that if they can piece together Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky nicely, we'll see this team up in B or A in the next few years. But for now, I think I'm going to have them hang down at C. It's another bad season for the Broncos down at D. I just got a notification right before I started filming this video that Sean Payton's heading to Denver. So I'll be interested. But obviously the Nathaniel Hackett firing, and now it's another rough season. I'll put the Packers at C just to be nice. I would put them at D because of expectations. They always have expectations, but then they severely just disappoint completely. But I think C because, I mean, you still are around a 500 team. But no playoffs for the Packers. I get used to seeing that. Panthers, I'll put them at a C to be nice. Actually, I'll put them at a D. They're right in between those two because they were able to pick up a few nice wins late in the season, but it's a bad start and just a lot of questions in Carolina. Cardinals are going to be another D. We got a lot of Ds here. Cliff Kingsbury fired. Kyler Murray not performing. Struggling with some back and forth injuries, so we'll see. Bills, I'm going to put them at A. We were saying Super Bowl for Buffalo at the beginning of the year. They didn't get there. They exited in the divisional round to the Bengals, who are a good team, one of the best in the NFL, if not the best in my opinion. But because of how high the expectations were and the disappointing finish, Bills are an A. But you still played a great season. It really could go up to S, but I'm going to keep it at A. Seahawks, great job to make the playoffs there at the end, and I think they're a solid B. Geno Smith. And then to finish it off, let's just put Patriots at C. a few rough years for them. Bill Belichick might want to bite the dust as he's almost near the end of his career. Well, there you have it. Take a good look. There are my rankings / ratings for the 2022-23 NFL season. Tell me your thoughts on in the comments below. And hope you enjoyed. Get ready for the Super Bowl in a week and a half. And I hope you enjoyed